Greg Braden, a renowned author and scientist, has explored the intersection of consciousness and the simulation theory in his work. Braden believes that ancient wisdom traditions have long understood that reality is not as solid and fixed as we perceive it to be. He suggests that our thoughts, emotions, and intentions have the power to shape our reality. So, in this video, we're going to break down what is the simulation theory. And is there any evidence that supports this simulation theory? And if so, how can we exit it, or how can we control the simulation if possible? Now, before we dive into the simulation theory, we have to understand consciousness. What is consciousness? Now, consciousness is a complex phenomena that has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and theologians for centuries. It refers to the state of awareness of an individual's thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings. It is the ability to experience and perceive the world around us, to be aware of our own existence, and to have a sense of self. Now, there are various theories and perspectives on what consciousness is and how it arises. One of the most influential theories is the mind-body problem, which explores the relationship between the mind and physical body. Some philosophers argue that consciousness is an emergent property of the brain arising from the complex interactions of neurons and neural networks. According to this view, consciousness is a result of the brain's capacity to process information, form perceptions, and generate thoughts. Now, we also have another perspective on consciousness, which is the dualistic view, which posits that mind and body are separate entities. And this theory suggests that consciousness is a non-physical entity that exists independently of the brain and body. Proponents of this view often cite near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, and other paranormal phenomena as evidence of the existence of a separate consciousness. Now, despite the progress in neuroscience and philosophy, the nature of consciousness remains enigmatic and elusive. Some scientists and philosophers argue that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe, akin to space, time, and matter. They suggest that consciousness is a universal property that pervades all living and non-living entities, forming the basis of reality itself. Now, one of the most fundamental aspects of consciousness is subjective experience. Conscious beings have a first-person perspective on the world and are able to feel emotions, have thoughts, and perceive their environment in a subjective and unique way. This aspect of consciousness is often described as the what it is like to be a particular entity, emphasizing the personal and individualized nature of subjective experience. So this is what it means to be conscious. It's all about self-awareness. So basically, conscious beings have a sense of self, the ability to recognize themselves as distinct individuals with their own thoughts, desires, and beliefs. Self-awareness allows individuals to reflect on their own mental states, make decisions based on their personal experiences and values, and develop a sense of identity over time. So basically, you and I, animals, they are conscious beings. We are all conscious beings as far as this definition or these theories, I guess. Now, just to add a few points, consciousness is also characterized by a sense of unity and continuity. Despite the diverse and complex nature of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations, consciousness provides a coherent and integrated experience of the world. Consciousness allows individuals to maintain a sense of continuity over time, to integrate past experiences with present perceptions, and to form a coherent sense of self and identity. Now that we've understood what consciousness is and what it means to be conscious, we can now go to the most thought-provoking theory of this time, in my own opinion, the simulation theory. Is reality real? Or is it just an illusion? Are we even real? Maybe we are. Now, the simulation theory is a provocative concept that has captured the imagination of scientists, philosophers, and the general public in recent years. It posits that the reality we experience is not actually real, but rather a highly detailed and sophisticated simulation created by a more advanced civilization or entity. This theory has its roots in philosophy, science fiction, and cutting-edge technology, and raises profound questions about the nature of reality, consciousness, and the limits of human knowledge. Now, the idea of a simulated reality has been around for centuries, with early thinkers such as Plato and Descartes contemplating the possibility that the world we perceive is an illusion or a dream. However, it was not until the 21st century that the simulation theory gained widespread attention, thanks in part to the advancement in computer technology and the rise of virtual reality. Now that we have defined what the simulation theory is, we now can get to the evidence that we may actually be in a simulation. Now, this evidence is not really 100%, it's possibilities why people actually think we might be in a simulation. Now, first of all, we have the Bostrom simulation hypothesis. Nick Bostrom, a philosopher, proposed the famous simulation hypothesis, and according to him, at least one of the following possibilities must be true. Possibility 1, civilizations capable of creating advanced simulations would do so. Possibility 2, technologically advanced civilizations would eventually become extinct before reaching the capability to create simulations. Possibility 3, technologically advanced civilizations have no interest in creating advanced simulations. Now, according to Bostrom, if the first possibility is true, which is civilizations capable of creating advanced simulations would do so, there is a high probability that we are actually in a simulation. Now, this hypothesis suggests evidence that supports the idea that our reality may not be what it seems like. Now, the other proof that people may actually consider are glitches in reality. Now, simulation theories often point to various anomalies and glitches in our reality as evidence for their claims. These anomalies could include unexplained phenomena, paranormal experiences, or even instances where people witness deja vu or have precognitive dreams. Such anomalies and glitches may suggest that the underlying code or simulation running our reality occasionally malfunctions or reveals its artificial nature. Now, we also have informational limits and mathematical structure. Some argue that our reality exhibits mathematical structures and informational limits which align more with a computer simulation rather than a naturally occurring universe. For instance, Max Tegmark, a physicist, argues that the existence of mathematical patterns and perfect mathematical rules in the laws of physics and throughout nature are indicators of our simulated reality. Additionally, the Planck length, the smallest scale that can be defined in physics, and various discrete quantities in quantum mechanics, such as quantized energy levels, hint at a fundamentally digital nature of our universe. Greg Braden, a scientist and spiritual teacher, also favors the simulation theory in terms of the exponential growth of computing power and the development of realistic virtual worlds. As technology continues to advance, it becomes increasingly plausible that future civilizations could create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. This raises profound ethical and metaphysical questions about the nature of consciousness, free will, and the moral implications of creating artificial realities. We also have quantum physics and digital information. Quantum physics, a branch of science that studies the fundamental properties of matter and energy, provides intriguing evidence for simulation theories. The double-slit experiment, for example, demonstrates the wave-particle duality of matter. Now, some scientists argue that the behavior of particles in this experiment is better explained if our reality is a simulation, with waves collapsing into particles due to underlying computational processes. Similarly, quantum entanglement, where two particles remain connected regardless of the distance between them, can be seen as a way to efficiently transmit information in a simulation, rather than physical interactions in the real world. Now, to some extent, these theories, they kind of make sense. But the question that I actually have is like, where do I feel this pain? Because I actually have some chest pain right now. And it feels so real and it's really painful. How do they explain that? Or maybe you may have such a question. Or maybe you have a different question regarding whether or not we are in a simulation, or whether or not you agree with these theories to some extent, please do so. Comment in the comment section if you agree or you disagree, and tell us why you disagree or why you agree. Now, regarding the pain thing, some scientists obviously, who agree with the simulation theory, they've said that pain could be a necessary aspect of the simulation, serving as a mechanism to motivate or discourage certain behaviors. Wow, I don't know, but that kind of makes sense, because the pain that we have, it's due to something that we did, in terms of like maybe we ate something or we did something to our body, and thus we have the pain. So if we stop eating certain stuff or getting into certain environments or certain injuries, then the pain will not be there. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's just move on. Now, the notion that we're living in a simulation has intrigued many people, prompting questions about how we might be able to stop or exit such a simulated reality. While the concept of exiting a simulation may seem like something out of science fiction movie, there are several theories and ideas that have been proposed to address this possibility. Now, one of the most prominent theories about how to stop or exit a simulation is based on the idea of reaching a higher state of consciousness or enlightenment. Now, we have defined what consciousness is and what it means to be conscious. And some spiritual traditions and philosophies suggest that by transcending our ego, attachments, and desires, we can free ourselves from the illusion of the simulated reality and achieve a deeper understanding of our true nature. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and self-inquiry are often recommended as paths towards awakening and liberation from the simulated world. We have also another theory that posits that advanced technology or knowledge could provide a way to disrupt or escape the simulation. Some proponents of this idea suggest that by developing advanced artificial intelligence, quantum computers, or augmented reality technology, we may be able to hack the simulation and find a way to exit it. Others propose that by understanding the underlying codes, algorithms, or rules of the simulation, we could manipulate and override them to break free from the simulated reality. Now, whether we're living in a simulated reality or not, I truly believe that we should find a way to live a fulfilled life regardless. Now, to live a fulfilled life, I'm just going to point out a few points on how you can actually do that. Now, the first one is identifying what truly matters to you and aligning your actions with those values that can actually bring a sense of purpose and fulfillment. This requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to examine one's beliefs and desires. Now, another important point is living authentically. This means being true to yourself and making choices that are based on your personal values rather than societal expectations or external pressures. Furthermore, developing a positive mindset is also essential in living a fulfilled life. You see, our consciousness can either work for us or against us, depending on how we perceive our experiences. Cultivating a positive mindset involves reframing our thoughts and focusing on aspects that bring joy and gratitude rather than the negative. By consciously choosing to see the good in every situation, individuals can shift their consciousness towards a more positive and fulfilling outlook on life. Cultivating meaningful relationships, personal growth, and self-improvement contribute also significantly to a fulfilling life. So whether we're living in a simulation or not, the quest to understand the nature of reality and the nature of consciousness is a journey that is deeply meaningful and transformative. So by exploring the depths of our own consciousness and expanding our awareness, we have the potential to unlock the secrets of the universe and discover the true nature of existence. In this way, the idea of escaping from a simulation is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical and profound path towards self-realization and enlightenment. So I hope you have a great day and a fulfilled life.